but I still think it's the Celtics and the Lakers in whatever order you want that represent basketball, to people worldwide, and now the Celtics can make a claim about worldwide because of the travels that Red Auerbach and they did, and this, plus some of his stars did at the behest of the State Department, among other things, back in the 50s and 60s. They
Yes,
spread
discuss
word
that, Bob.
to
Talk
Europe.
about that because we've heard about those stories, like when he played the trick on Tommy Heinsohn,
Yeah,
and I can't. Was he in Germany or
I
France,
lost it.
whatever?
Right, right.
He had Tommy arrested or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. I forget the exact story, but
yeah.
he played a prank on Tommy in a foreign country in Europe. I forget which one at the time. Um,
But talk
and,
about how red, like when you talk about the Globetrotters, is that's what they did. They were, but the Celtics did the same thing. I mean, just enlighten people on that because I don't think
well, I
people
mean, they
realize that.
were sent on exhibition tours to Europe. I believe I don't know about South America, but Europe and on a few some occasions during the 50s and 60s. And so people knew who they were, and Red was known, and Russell was known, and Cousy, was known. So definitely. They were the only team. There was nobody else that was getting that honor. But then again, they had earned that honor because of how they dominated basketball for those 13 years of the Russell era. I mean, 11 championships in the 12th, which had he not been hurt, they would have won as well. And I mean, I'm sorry, but it's true. They got beat legitimately once in 13 years. And if you knew basketball at all outside America, it was going to be either the Globetrotters who truly were Globetrotters or the Celtics.
Yeah, the story's coming back to me now because as Tommy told it, I think they were in France or Italy, and Red set it up that Tommy was arrested, and because he was German, and the cop or something said German, pointed at Tommy, and I don't know, they held him for like 4 hours or something. Then the red kid, then he busted his chops, and they had a.
Yeah, right, right, right.
Then I think Tommy got back at him when he gave Red an exploding cigar or something like that. Needless to say, but I was thinking about this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I guess you could go back to Jesse Owens. Would probably be the first athlete where race and culture, politics, because of the Olympics, and of course
Yep, yep.
Hitler, and then and possibly I'm missing some other examples of that. But
Well, I mean,
Russell and the Celtics in the '60s, culturally, that was pretty important.
yeah, there was. I mean, they represented the NBA to the world. There's no doubt about it. I mean, remember, it was when Russell started winning championships, there was an 8-team league. By the time he won his 11th, it was a 14-team league.
Right.
But it was just an 8 and 19-team league in the late 50s, early 60s. Yeah, they were just synonymous. If you knew anything about the NBA, it was about the Celtics, and it was no question. The other guy, I guess you have to throw in there was Joe Louis. So
Right.
Joe Louis, he
Joe
won the
Louis.
championship in '37. He beat James Braddock and reigned until 1949. And no one's ever had a reign like that in heavyweight ranks or any. I don't even know about any other ranks, but he was famous so. But you're right, Jesse Owens, because of the '36 Olympics.
I don't think. I mean, I mean, did anybody? I mean, I don't know if anybody in the media really knew Bill Russell. But like you certainly were around him more than I was, and I interviewed him once and had a couple of small conversations. I don't think I've met anyone like him in the world of sports, where a man that marched with Martin Luther King, just the way he carried himself, the racism he had to deal with, combined with the success that he had on the floor. I mean, that's the thing that's amazing about Russell in the '60s. We all know about the racism he was victimized by in the '60s. It didn't affect his game
Oh, not in the least.
at
Uh,
all.
not ever in the least. He separated them completely. But when he walked out of that gym back into the real world, it was a different circumstance, and but he didn't let things overwhelm him ever. The great line I always remember from him, and I've heard it and I didn't read that. I got this from his own lips, and not that it's exclusive, but I can say that I wasn't just something that I read. That's something that he did say to me. And he said, "My citizenship is not a gift. My citizenship is a birthright."
Right.
And he lived his life along, and with that as a credo, and among other things. But that certainly
was he the first athlete. Obviously, Cassius Clay, the Muhammad Ali, probably after him. But was he the first athlete that took that type of stance, or along those lines?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Jackie Robinson, of course, had a central role in all this, of course, and because having broken the color line in baseball was the number one sport in America.
Right.
Unquestioned, and team sport in the first 60, 70 years of the 20th century. So, yeah, and what Jackie Robinson did was what the Dodgers did with Jackie Robinson was extremely important. And Jackie himself had to, he was cautious. He was picked by Branch Rickey because of his ability to absorb the verbal contact, if you will. He wanted somebody that could turn the other cheek and proceed. Russell wasn't real good at turning the other cheek, kind of thing, and that's fine. But they're all distinct individuals with this distinct contributions and distinct reactions to the circumstances. For example, even on the Dodgers themselves, Robinson and Roy Campanella had conflict at times because Robinson thought Roy was a little too passive. I won't go so far as to say he called him an Uncle Tom, but he thought he was too nice about and too forgiving about things at times. And Robinson, remember Robinson in the Army, he walked to the front of the bus or whatever the hell he was court-martialed. And the Army and the segregated United States Army in World War II. Wow. I mean, he was forthright, absolutely. But within that, he knew that when he was going to be presented to the world as a Brooklyn Dodger, that there was going to be a lot of nasty stuff, slump, and he wasn't going to be able to pick up and fight everyone all the way back. He had to ignore it and had to proceed. So he was chosen not because he was the best player. He was chosen because he was the best person to have this awesome responsibility of being the guy to break the color line in Major League Baseball.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. They got over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all, so you just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up 100 times your cash. Your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get into the action in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay even if one of your players gets hurt or injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and give $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. I think Steph Curry will get more than 4 3-pointers this week, or Anthony Edwards more than 27 points. Cook up some hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season. Get your crew to run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. And, some of the Prize Picks you could be looking at: Luka Doncic for more than 31.5 points, Steph Curry for more than 4 3-pointers, Anthony Davis, more than 11 boards, the Freak Giannis for more than 29.5 points. Again, download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.